Summer is upon us. Do you want to stay cool and dry at night? Try bamboo sheets from CozyEarth.com. Not only do you get a good night's sleep and stay cool and dry, but also you get to save 21% off just by using our code at checkout. InfoGo. And they have a 100-night sleep trial, so it's a win-win. If you don't like them, send them back, but I promise you'll fall in love with them. And while you're over there, check out their socks. They have a whole line of apparel. And that's CozyEarth.com. Use our code InfoGo at checkout to save 21% off. Welcome to the podcast. I'm William,
And I'm Kat.
and that makes this a dash of info.
Little things you want to know.
Yeah. So, the title of this, who was John Lomax? Well, the Lomax family, they originally came from England and settled in Rockingham County, North Carolina during colonial times. John Lomax was born in Goodman, Mississippi to James Avery Lomax and Susan Frances Cooper. And he was born in 1869, and the family moved to Texas by ox cart, settling near Meridian in Basque County. Is that Basque?
I would say Bosque.
Basque County? Okay, let's go with that.
John grew up on a farm where his father raised livestock and grew crops. As a child, John was exposed to cowboy songs, which really kind of influenced his life, like any country singer would. At 9, he befriended Nate Blythe. That's Nate, right? Not Nat.
Yeah, Nate, not that. No.
Oh, I just wanted to
Not
declare.
like the gnats that fly around you here in South Georgia.
A former slave working on the farm. John taught Nate how to read, write, while Nate taught John songs and dance steps.
Bly, is that Bly?
I would say Blythe.
Okay, Blythe. Blythe later left the farm, and although John never saw him again, he often looked for him while traveling in the South. When John turned 21, his father allowed him to use the earnings from one field and, sell a pony to pay for college. And in 1887, he attended Granbury College and graduated the following year, becoming a teacher.
He first taught at a rural school in Clifton, but soon sought better opportunities. In 1889, he became the principal of Weatherford College, where he later headed the business department after studying at Eastman Business College in New York. So between 1891 and 1894, he spent summers in Chautauqua Institute in New York, improving his education and exploring music, literature, and poetry. These experiences later helped shape his intellectual and professional development.
So John Lomax, he wanted to really further his education. Initially considering Vanderbilt, he instead enrolled at the University of Texas in 1895, studying English literature and taking an intense course load. He graduated in 2 years. And during this time, Lomax brought a collection of cowboy songs from his childhood, to the English professor, only to have them, dismissed as unworthy, prompting him to burn them. And that is sad.
That is sad. He then focused on academics, joining Pi Delta Theta, a Rusk literary society, and editing university publications. After graduating in 1897, he worked as a registrar at the University of Texas while holding various other roles on campus. Lomax had a long relationship with Shirley Green, who, unbeknownst to him, suffered from tuberculosis.
And after her death in 1903, he married Bess Brown in 1904, and the couple settled near Texas A&M University, where Lomax taught English and began raising a family. Go Dogs. Sorry, Texas A&M. In 1906, he attended Harvard University on a fellowship and studied under renowned scholars Barrett Wendell and George Lyman Kittredge. And they encouraged him to collect and preserve those cowboy songs.
After returning to Texas, Lomax resumed teaching and began his song collection in earnest, despite interruptions like the 1908 A&M student strike. By 1910, he published cowboy songs and other frontier ballads, featuring Western songs like Home on the Range, many sourced from African American cowboys. The book had a significant impact, sparking interest in folk songs nationwide and establishing Lomax as a key figure in American folklore.
And his work really emphasized culture, inclusiveness, and really helped preserve musical heritage of the American West. John Lomax, along with Professor Payne, well, they co-founded the Texas Folklore Society in 1909, and they really aimed to promote folklore research and interest among Texans. But by April 1910, the society had 92 charter members. Lomax, well, he used his national reputation to raise funds for folklore studies and established, other statewide societies.
He traveled extensively, delivering lectures on cowboy songs, ballads, and poetry, often accompanied by student performances. And in 1912, Lomax was elected president of the American Folklore Society, serving 2 terms. And the society grew steadily with influential members like Stith Thompson and J. Frank Dobie. And they really contributed to its success. Lomax co-authored the Book of Texas in 1916 and urged the collection of folklore from Texas's diverse populations, including African Americans and Mexicans.
This effort, well, it really led to Lomax's greatest achievement, the collection of over 10,000 recordings for the Library of Congress Archive of American Folk Songs. Hold that thought because we're going to dive just a little bit deeper first, okay?
Sounds good.
Yeah. You know what? I think here's a good time to take a break.
Sounds good.
Coke,
Pepsi.
Home on the Range. We'll be right back.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I came across Big Fork Brands recently, and it's become one of those finds you actually want to tell people about, and you don't find that often. Okay. They're doing bacon sausage, plus these really solid pork jerky snacks and Chicago style sauces. Basically, upgrade anything you throw them on burgers, hot dogs, fries, throw it on there. It works.
But I bet it's packed full of junk.
Actually, it's made with clean ingredients and real care. That's small batch with no shortcuts, and people are obsessed with the flavor. You can go over to bigforkbrands.com, use our code INFOGO at checkout, and get 20% off anything on the site.
You can find the link and our code in the show notes.
Well, now that we're back. In 1917, Lomax's academic career at the University of Texas ended due to political disputes, prompting him to move to Chicago to work at Lee Higginson and Company, which was a bond brokerage firm. Now, during this time, he befriended poet Carl Sandburg. Lomax returned to Texas in 1919 and published Songs of the Cattle Trail and Cow Camp, an anthology of cowboy poetry.
However, political interference forced him to resign from his position as secretary of the Texas Exodus, and later from his editorial role at the Alcalde. Well, Lomax joined the Republic Bank of Dallas in 1925. But the economic crash of 1929, well, it had a negative impact on the bank's fortunes. Despite all of these setbacks, Lomax's contribution to American folklore left a lasting legacy.
In 1931, John Lomax faced immense personal and financial hardship. His wife, Bess Brown, passed away at the age of 50, leaving him to care for 4 children, including 10-year-old Bess. Around the same time, the Dallas bank where Lomax worked failed, leaving him in debt and unemployed.
Depressed and struggling to support his family, Lomax's oldest son, John Jr., he encouraged him to start lecturing again. And together, they traveled across the country, camping along the way to save money, and with John Jr. and later Alan Lomax assisting.
In June 1932, Lomax proposed an anthology of American ballads and folk songs, highlighting African American contributions to the Macmillan Publishing in New York, and the idea was accepted. He then visited the Library of Congress to review their archive of American folk song, finding the archive's collection lacking, I'm sure greatly.
Mm.
Lomax arranged to record new folk songs using equipment funded through private grants.
In exchange, the recordings would be added to the library's archive after Robert Gordon left the library in 1934. Lomax was named honorary consultant and curator of the Archive of American Folk Songs, although it paid only a symbolic salary of $1. He raised funds for the library and supported himself by writing and lecturing.
He obtained grants to continue field recordings, collecting Spanish ballads, vaquero songs, and Cajun music from various regions. Now, this partnership with the Library of Congress involved the entire Lomax family.
In June of 1933, funded by a grant from the American Council of Learned Societies, John Lomax began a recording expedition for the Library of Congress, joined by his 18-year-old son, Alan, and they focused on documenting folk songs, mainly those of African American prisoners, who often preserved traditional songs uninfluenced by modern trends like jazz or, well, radio, because it was modern at the time, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Now, they visited Texas prison farms, recording work songs, blues, reels, and ballads from inmates like James Ironhead Baker and Lightnin' Washington. They also recorded songs from non prisoners in nearby communities.
You don't know, just the way you said it, so you don't know Lightning Washington, right?
No, but there's a comma where like the G should be, so I know it's pronounced lightning.
Lightning. Um,
Lightning Washington.
there you go. That's how you say it.
Lightning Washington. I'm sure
Yeah.
probably not as great as a true Southern person, but hey.
All right. True Southern. And yeah, it's lightning. In July 1933, Lomax, well, he acquired a portable 315-pound aluminum disc recorder. 315-pound aluminum disc recorder. I don't know
That's
how.
insane.
He installed it in his car, which, well, he really used to make field recordings. And at the Louisiana State Penitentiary, they recorded Huddy Ledbetter, well, better known as Leadbelly, whose music became one of the most significant discoveries. And I think everybody knows Leadbelly. No, okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to like leave you on crickets, but I don't know that one.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's all
Which is
right.
unfortunate because I was literally listening to like the Chordettes and a few other things today. Anyway, over the next year, John and Alan continued their fieldwork, applying scholarly methods for their collection efforts. In July 1934, they revisited Angola prison where Leadbelly recorded a song requesting parole. Although the governor likely never heard it, Leadbelly was released shortly after for good behavior and Depression era cost cutting.
Hmm. Needing work, Leadbelly joined Lomax as a driver and an assistant for several months, also performing at Lomax's lectures, including one at the MLA. And this was a meeting in Philadelphia. Their collaboration ended in March of 1935 after disagreements over money. While their partnership was brief, John Lomax, well, he played a key role in launching Leadbelly's career, securing Leadbelly with a recording contract and introducing him to, well, new audiences.
Despite accusations of paternalism, Lomax helped transform Leadbelly from a prisoner to a prominent figure in traditional African American music. And after parting ways, Leadbelly pursued a successful 15-year career supported at times by Alan Lomax.
In 1938, John Lomax Willie continued his work. He visited South Carolina to document local folk songs, sometimes all day singing festivals, further preserving America's rich musical heritage. And the Archive of American Folk Song and at the Library of Congress, well, it holds songs that were collected from 33 of the U.S. states, as well as parts of West Indies, the Bahamas, and Haiti.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Have you ever, this is in the public domain. You can go and listen to any of this stuff.
Well, I shall.
Okay.
Now, John and Alan Lomax, as curator and assistant in charge, worked with various folklorists, musicologists, and composers to gather over 10,000 recordings of vocal and instrumental music, along with extensive documentation.
And they did this with a 350-pound portable recording that he put in his car.
Right. Bump the car phone, okay?
And yeah, I mean, could you imagine toting a 350-pound portable thing around to record music?
Not in the car.
Hmm. Hey, could
Not
you
in the
step
car.
over to the trunk of my car and play that again?
Right. Now I have to know what kind of car he had so I can like visually think about which bubble I'm looking at him trying to do this in.
Well, they don't make things like they used to because that 350-pound recording device ain't gonna fit in my Honda Civic.
See, the 40s. We're looking at like I'm thinking like mobster like cars, okay, with like the suicide doors.
Ooh, yeah. Anyway, so their efforts involve traveling thousands of miles, overcoming challenges, and building trust with singers across the country. And in 1942, Harold Spivak, chief of the library's division of music, well, he praised Lomax for laying the foundation for the archive's development, noting their dedication and the help of other contributors who added valuable material through the, independent expeditions.
Hmm. Now, the archive showcased a wide range of cultural heritage, capturing the depth and complexity of American life through folk songs. And after 1942, the government halted fieldwork for collecting folk songs due to a shortage of acetate needed for the war effort.
Political concerns, well, they also led to opposition from Southern conservatives in Congress, preventing the work from resuming. Despite this, Lomax, well, him and his son, they continued to create a vital resource for preserving American folk music and culture. John and Alan Lomax, well, they dedicated themselves to preserving American folk music by traveling extensively across the United States and beyond.
They recorded traditional songs in places such as Texas prison farms and rural communities in the Deep South. Their work really captured a wide range of folk traditions, ensuring the survival of these cultural treasures.
And, Lead Belly was one of their most famously known. While recording at the Louisiana State Penitentiary, they facilitated Lead Belly's early release and documented iconic songs like Midnight Special and Where Did You Sleep Last Night?
Alan Lomax also contributed significantly to folk music preservation by being the first to record Woody Guthrie in 1940, helping bring Guthrie's talent to the public. And in 1938, Alan recorded jazz pioneer Jelly Roll Morton playing piano in Washington, D.C., further expanding the archive's collection.
And the Lomax's legacy lies in the lasting impact of their efforts, which preserved a diverse and rich heritage of American folk songs. Their contributions include classics such as Get Along Little Doggies, Sound Bass, Home on the Range, House of the Rising Sun, and Rosie.
Okay, I know Home on the Range and House of the Rising Sun.
Yeah, and those all came from folk songs that were later cut by, I guess at the time, rock bands.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival, I mean, half of their catalog were folk songs.
Right. More than half.
Well, I would say at least, I don't want to go out on a limb here, but I would say about 80% of their songs were folk songs that they've just redone.
Right. I know about CCR. My best friend's dad plays and played CCR every weekend we were over there. That's kind of like his get up and music, his waking up music, if you will.
Yeah, I know Midnight Special was one. We could go on. The list goes on and on and on. The 70s were full of folk songs that were turned into rock hits.
That makes sense.
which is why the 70s was great and awesome.
I will never have that experience. So I'm
Hey,
I'm a little jealous.
you could still have the experience. They sell it on like, Apple Music and Spotify.
It's not the same and you know it.
The pops and cracks and the white noise. Yeah, you're right. It's not the same.
Oh, I do thoroughly enjoy that in some old like YouTube hits that you can find. I
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy that.
I love to dig out my 45s every once in a while. The pops, the cracks, and the white noise, it just makes the music.
I feel like I would love that on a record player. Like I would love to like get an old gramophone and roll with it. But anyway, I digress. These songs really represent a variety of cultural influences, showcasing the breadth and complexity of American musical traditions. Their recordings and research continue to be celebrated as a cornerstone of American folk music history.
If you would like to listen to any of the Lomax's audio recordings, you can do so free. And you can do it at the Library of Congress website. And at the end of this podcast, we might actually drop a little bit in there for you.
Heck yeah.
All right. That's pretty much all I've got. I have listened to some of the recordings on the website and thoroughly kind of enjoyed it.
I'll have to look it up for
There you
sure.
go.
If you would like to support this podcast, tell a friend and help get the word out.
If you would like to help support the show, you can do so at Patreon or just take advantage of some of our sponsors. All of those links are in the show notes.
And as always, William and I want to thank you for listening.
Whether you just tuned in or you've been with us from day one, a big thank you.
Join the Facebook group at Info on the Go.
Over there, you can get to know us,
Just ask us a question.
but whatever you're doing, make sure you stop and hit that follow button so you don't ever miss an episode.
Send us some fan mail using the link in the show notes or even leave a review.
Leaving that review really does help others find us, and we really do appreciate it. But you can also email Kat or myself directly at,
Info on the Go podcast at gmail.com.
and all of this is in the show notes. Till next time.
Stay curious.
Every morning starts with a choice. Don't settle for just coffee. Rise up with strong coffee. Meet the world's strongest cup of joe. Strong isn't just a drink, it's a movement. And strong stands for striving to reach our natural greatness.
Born from one simple need to be better. They rebuilt coffee from the ground up, infusing organic coffee with collagen, protein, nootropics, and functional ingredients that fuel your body and sharpen your mind. There's no crash, no compromises, just clean energy, focus, and flavor that fires you up.
Whether you're chasing kids, chasing goals, or chasing greatness, don't just wake up, rise up. Strong coffee, the world's strongest cup of joe, for a world ready to be better.
Use code INFOGO at checkout to save 15%.